Now, usually in our math, when we deal with negative numbers, it's in the context of algebra. And the most important way that we're going to add and subtract with negative numbers is when we combine like terms. So the question is, how do you know what a like term is? Out of these four options, we can add and subtract a couple of them together, but only the ones that are like terms. Like terms mean that the item, like 3x, the like term also has to have that same variable. And that negative goes with the 7x. Whatever the sign is out front needs to be put in that box. So now I've put the x's in box. That's how I know I have like terms there. Now I see this negative 4 and 5 are just good old regular numbers. So I'm gonna put those in a circle because regular numbers without a variable are also like terms. So I have two different rounds. I have one set of like terms in the box, another set in the circles. Now I'm literally just going to add those items up. So when I do 3x minus 7x, I'm just gonna literally look at the signs, 3 minus 7. If I use my vertical number line, it's like I start at 3 and I go down 7. 1, 2, 3. The most important way that we are going to use our negative numbers with our adding and subtracting is gonna be in algebra when we have to combine like terms. So in a problem that looks like this, we have to decide what are we allowed to add together, because algebra has very specific rules about that. We're only allowed to add or subtract like terms, which means that they have the same exact variable. So I notice this 3 has an x with it. I'm only allowed to add that 3 with other numbers that also have that same exact variable attached. So I see another x over here with this negative 7. That negative goes with the 7, so I'm also gonna put it with the box. Those are the only two numbers with an x, so those are like terms. Now these regular numbers, that negative 4 and positive 5, are also like terms because they don't have a variable. So in this case, I have two different sets of like terms, 3x minus 7x, and then the regular old numbers that don't have a variable, negative 4 and 5. Now when I combine like terms, I straight up do the math that I see, 3 minus 7. So if we use the vertical number line over here, I start at 3, and now, because I'm starting at the 3x, now I'm going down 7. So I'm going down 1, 2, 3 at 0, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then it looks like I ended up at 1, 2, 3, 4, negative 4. I went to 3, went down 7 to end at negative 4. Remember, those were with the x's. So that negative 4 needs the x as a reminder of where I got it from. Now I'm gonna add together my regular negative 4 plus 5. Negative 4 plus 5, I already have my negative 4 here. Now I'm gonna go up 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I end at positive 1. These are not like terms because that negative 4 has an x, and that's just a regular number. So I'm gonna put it in a box. Let's try that one more time. So the question you should ask yourself, how do I know what to add or subtract together? Oh yeah, they have to be like terms. So they have to have the same variable, or they have to be just regular old numbers. I see a negative 5x there, so I need to find another number with x, which I see over here with negative 4x. So I'll put those in triangles. Then I see my regular old numbers are already next to each other, so I'll circle those in the middle so I don't get confused. And now I see I once again have two sets of like terms, negative 5x and negative 4x, and then my regular numbers, negative 2 and 8. So using our negative number line, if I'm gonna do negative 5x minus 4, I'm starting at negative 5x, and now I'm going down 4 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, which is gonna be negative 6, 7, 8, negative 9. So my x terms are gonna combine to negative 9x, and now I just need to do negative 2 plus 8. So using my vertical number line, I'm starting at negative 2 and I'm going up 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And it looks like I went up to positive 6. We want to simplify and go as far as we can with a problem like this. We're still eventually going to combine like terms, but this is where we're going to be doing a lot of multiplying with negatives. Whenever you see a number outside of the parentheses and there's nothing in between that number and the parentheses, we know that this is going to be distribution. And when we distribute, that negative 3 is going to be sent everywhere inside of those parentheses with multiplying. So this is going to be like two different multiplying problems in one. Negative 3 times 2x If one number is negative, your answer is negative. Negative 3 times 2 is 6, and the x needs to continue as well. Negative 3 times negative 4, a negative times a negative is a positive. 3 times 4 is 12. And since that 8 was not inside of the parentheses, that negative 3 doesn't go over there. The plus 8 just comes right on down. And just like the last problems, you have to decide what are your like terms. There's no other number with the variable, so my negative 6x just comes into my final answer. Now I notice the 12 and the 8 are just good old regular numbers, so they're like terms. I can combine them together. 12 plus 8 will give us 20. This is our final answer, since this has a variable and this one doesn't. They are not like terms, so we can't add them. Let's try one more. There's nothing in between that number and parentheses. So that means I'm going to distribute, which is really just two different multiplication problems in one. 2 times negative 5x, if one number is negative, your answer is negative. 2 times 1 will be 2, anything times 1 is itself. And remember, that negative 10x wasn't inside the parentheses, so that 2 doesn't go there. The negative 10x continues down. Now I see I have one number with a variable, and I see another number with a variable. It's very important that those negative signs out front go with it. There isn't another regular number out there, so the plus 2 will come down to my final answer, and now I just need to complete negative 10x minus 10x. So if I use my vertical number line, I know I'm starting at negative 10, and then I'm going down 10 more, so I'm going to end at negative 20x.